I am here with Bill Beausay, and we're at Franklin Family Ranch, about 15, 20 miles south of Dripping Springs. And Bill spoke, and I spoke first. Actually, Bill spoke as well. He was our inaugural paid speaker for the annual Chamber of Commerce, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce HAL committee meeting. And I thought it was fabulously fun and motivational, and Bill drew on himself over here, as you noticed. So this is not a shirt design. You will actually see
this is a professional look.
He took a marker and and I thought it was very, very cool. So but I could not resist the opportunity to ask at least a couple of questions before I let Bill go back to Houston. So first of all, you're an author. And you have written 20 books, 3 bestsellers.
Yep.
What is your passion? What is your piece? Like, where are you going to go now? You've done a lot of these things. Where are you going to go?
You know, that's a great question, Doug. I'm constantly reminded. You reminded me today when you talked about the importance of just shooting high. I always think that I can shoot a little higher, and it's just amazing to me that the more I do that, the more things just keep happening. Yeah. So you asked me where I'm going. Sometimes it changes, it seems like it changes by the week sometimes, but it keeps getting a little bigger. The vision keeps stretching out a little bit further, and the more it stretches, the more things happen. It's so fun. I can't, and I know that when I talk to people,
right,
audiences like this, it's something you hear that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But the reality is that when you really jump out there and take a step and try to make things happen,
yeah,
ripples start. And you may not see it automatically, but ripples start. So to answer your question where I'm going, making more ripples.
That's awesome, because so you ended your speech and you were surrounded by everybody who maybe had a famous author there, but they also really enjoyed the message. One guy walked up to me and I asked him how he enjoyed the day, and his answer to me was, "It was stupendous," and I think he was looking for a word he couldn't quite find. So that was great.
It's the artwork, dog.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you. So you're a professional speaker. I heard about you through my brother, who's a corporate type, fairly high up in the ranks. How do you manage to span professional speaking and meet the needs of a CEO and speak at the level where you're at an entry level leader like we had today?
You know, sometimes it's not as difficult as you would think. Because I think if you asked any senior executive in any big company, the issues that really plague them are almost always people issues. And interestingly enough, it's the same deal on the people that are at entry level. So if you're talking about people and their hearts and their visions and their passions, you really can't miss. And not only that, but I have discovered that people that are on the upper echelons of management in these companies, sometimes they're really looking for someone that they can talk to, because they don't have much of a peer group to really share what's going on. So sometimes if you because of the kind of message that I give, it gives those people the opportunity to feel as though they've got kind of a safe haven to share what's going on in their hearts about their business and their families and everything else that impact their lives. Yeah. So sometimes it's not as difficult as you would think, particularly if you just keep focused on the hard issues, because that's where we all live.
Yeah. So the impression of the fact that there's a regimented corporate elite that doesn't have feelings isn't true.
That's not true at all.
Okay.
It just isn't, and I know that it would appear that way, and maybe in some organizations it's necessary that the senior leadership portray that.
Right.
But the fact is, when the doors go closed, we're all people trying to look for answers, and
right.
You provide a platform to dialogue about that and bring some originality and some I guess fearlessness, some ability to break the rules with them, and they appreciate it. And frankly, it's not as hard as it would seem.
Yeah.
To do.
So you are making ripples. Who wants to have Bill talk to their group? Who are the people that wants you to give them a chance to, make some ripples? That who's that person?
Well, it's interesting. It's a great question.
Yeah.
I get asked, because I have the ability to reach all the way
Calvin
to
Klein, right?
Calvin Klein. That's right. This is a nice shirt too,
Right.
And that's permanent ink.
Exactly.
Because of the fact that my talks can be very fun. I get asked to do client appreciation dinners, oftentimes employee motivation talks, but I also am asked to do senior sales teams at big corporations, because I guess I could draw myself there too, but you know, my message is appropriate for anybody that's trying to cut out new territory, go further with their own talent, find I guess opportunities within themselves that they didn't know existed before. So you know, I'm really asked, the more, you know, I hate to say this, Doug, but the more stuff like this I do, it seems like the more I get asked to do, you know, more general motivational, fun kind of dinners and breakout sessions and seminars and stuff. And I like that. I think it's fun. And sometimes when I don't typically do this in a boardroom, but if it would work, I would.
So, I mean, what I'm really hearing is, which lightens me a little bit, is you're being irreverent and challenging something which we call rules is really the thing that even corporate America needs.
It really is. It's if you talk to any senior executive, one of the things they'll tell you, and one of the things that I'm sure actually all of us know, is that innovation pushes the world.
Yes.
And unfortunately, inside a lot of corporate establishments, no matter how much homage is paid to having an open environment where ideas flow freely, it just doesn't happen. They're locked down, and there's too many rules that constrict people from really giving all they've got. So if I can be the person that comes in and sort of takes the lid off of it and opens things up and shows people the things that are possible, then I feel like I've done, you know, I've done my part. Interestingly enough, the same dynamic is happening at entry-level people and mid-level managers and so on. I mean, we're all looking for people, and the fact of the matter is, the people that are in those jobs, Dog, as you know, they're the ones that see what's going on, and they're smart people. That's why you hired them. And if you give them you know, if you give them the ability to sort of have input, you know, 1 out of 10 ideas you get may be a ringer.
Well, I mean, what's so interesting is it makes me excited because it kind of reinforces the fact that there's room for everybody to do what they want to within an organization as long as they know what it is. And what you're kind of saying is scratch a little bit to find out. It was so funny when I was talking about the whole notion of talents and what do you like, most people don't know. Most people have never even tried, and what you're giving them permission to do is try, or maybe spend some time looking.
Well, actually, one of the talks I do, Doug, it's really interesting. One of the talks I do is just called "What's Possible," and in that I talk about, I help people define what it means to to go beyond what you thought was possible. Like, what's it mean when you when you go beyond what you believe can happen? Most people don't even know how to do that. And when you show them just a couple little tricks, it's kind of you can never go back. You can never go back. It's like your life is suddenly, the boundaries are pushed out a little bit.
You overextended the slinky. It doesn't do a slinky thing anymore.
Hey, you know, I used to do this thing back when I first started speaking. Do you remember these things called Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah.
The things?
You can overstretch them?
Actually, I think I tore the arm off of him once. But it was in front of a crowd, and he was stretched out about probably 20 feet. So he probably deserved to cut loose. But it's a good illustration. We can all stretch a lot further than we think.
So that gives you the poster, Bill. Now it says, do you want to take Stretch Armstrong's to a point where he can't go back to what he was? Have Bill come and talk.
Bill come and talk.
Yeah. It was really funny because I'm going to give a plug for my friends Paul Harmon and Steve Sigwalt. They run a group called the Positive Energy Summit. They brought in a spoon bender about last week. Now, unfortunately, he said 75% of the people could bend the spoons. I wasn't part of that 75.
Okay.
But, so I actually huddled in a corner with people who couldn't. But there was a little girl in there. He said it's all about not knowing what you think you can do because that'll ruin everything. She was like turning the spoon kind of like, you know, like it was a piece of licorice. And I'm thinking, give me that spoon.
Give me that thing.
And so, but that goes right back to what you're saying.
No, it's the same. It's the same thing. It's a. In fact, I would like to try the spoon bending thing just for fun. But it would be the principle's the same. The principle's exactly the same. I just think that so many people. You know, we were talking about. You know, you've heard that saying. A big shot is just a little shot that kept on shooting.
No, I'm going to write it down.
It's a good one because, you know, I think to myself sometimes I lay there in bed at night and think about what I do, you know, and I think, you know, really all I do is I just tell people to keep shooting, just keep shooting, you know, just keep shooting, and, you know, you know, success will find you. Happiness will find you if you keep shooting, and of course, if you make it bigger and bigger all the time, pretty soon you're bending spoons. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, so I'm fascinated. You've actually you agreed to be my mentor, and what I was lucky because a former person who couldn't even sit and do a speech at one point, I was literally so petrified, and I kind of kept shooting. And now I kind of enjoy being in front of large crowds. Don't always know that I do it well. I've actually, the whole notion that I could hang out with somebody who does it well makes me really excited.
Yeah. I gave you my marker, so I hope you'll use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time we see that shirt,
I'm going to get a pink marker so you can't even see it. So, see, Bill, I did use it. You're going to say, what is that invisible ink? I'm not impressed. Well, I want to thank you. You have a 210-mile drive back to Houston. Let's keep it so that, the attention span of the average audience is pretty low, so we probably went over 30 seconds. But I want to see you back. We're going to do more things together, and I'm really excited that we had a great day today.
Doug, you've got some great energy, great people, and you're a great guy. I would be coached by you in a New York minute.
Oh goodness, excellent. All right, well, thank you very much, and we until next time, signing off.